where I bake this banana bread and talk about books. I ended up giving the book 3.5 stars. I'm in between 3.5 and 3.75. I feel like you guys know what time it is, and this is a good one. It's haul time. But before we even get into the haul, welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new around here, my name is Hannah. If you're not new, welcome back. Today is Friday. I actually had a summer Friday today. I'm totally planned on vlogging my entire day, but I had the laziest day unintentionally. I was gonna be so productive today, get things done, go for a walk. I did actually end up going to Pilates this morning, but when I got back from Pilates, it was raining, which kind of just set the vibe for the entire day, to be honest. And after that, I lost motivation to do a lot. And then around 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30, when John got off of work, I dragged him to the store with me, hence the boxes. So let's get started. Obviously, first two are from Amazon. Didn't get these at the store, but I figured I would include them in the haul because they happen to come on the same day that I got the other two big purchases. First things first, I bought this simple black tank. I don't have a black tank at the moment, and I also needed a white one, which I'm hoping is in this box, and it is. They're both from the same brand, even though they were packaged differently and in separate bags. But one is black, like I just showed you guys, and the other one is white. The white one is the one that I needed the most. The white tank top that I currently have is just way too big for me, and I honestly just don't enjoy wearing it, and I don't like pairing it with outfits. So I figured if I'm buying the white, I might as well just buy the black with it. So we have some staples to refresh the closet. It's about that time of year where I need to refresh all of the plain white stuff in my closet anyways, because I feel like it gets dirty, deodorant stains it, the wash just wears it out. Just never looks the same as when you originally buy it. And then last but not least, from Amazon, this one's very random, but we don't have like a bread pan or a muffin pan here. So I bought one so that I could start making some blueberry banana muffins, or even like little egg casserole things for breakfast. So we're gonna get back into that. Those were the three least interesting things. Now we're working our way up to the big stuff. Next thing is what I went out for at 3 o'clock this afternoon. I got new running shoes. I currently have the Brooks Ghost running shoes. One, I've had them for about a year now, so I've put a lot of miles on them in terms of walking and running. It was just time for a new pair. But two, I don't necessarily love the way that my feet and my legs feel when I run in them. So I've been wanting to get a new pair of running shoes for a little bit, and I decided that instead of just buying a pair offline based on reviews from like TikTok, the stores, whatever it may be, I would go to an actual running store and get fitted. So that's what I did today. I went to SLC Running, or SC Running, something like that. Salt Lake Running, SL Running, I think is what it's called. And we did the whole treadmill test. She looked at how my feet work when I run. We talked about like my arches. I have like the highest arches that you could possibly have. I've had them obviously my whole life, but they were a problem in high school. I would chronically roll my ankles when I would play lacrosse. So I wore double ankle braces pretty much my entire sports career when I was in middle school and high school, because I had really weak ankles because of my arches. I was just more prone to spraining them. So I knew that going into it. My form, she said, seems fine when I run. Like, I'm a pretty stable runner. So I think that in terms of what I would need to feel comfortable when I run is just a good shoe, and then also footbeds, which I have footbeds for my skis actually, but I don't have them for my running shoes. So I'm gonna try these running shoes without footbeds first, and if they work, then I won't need them. But if I'm having issues with these, I'm gonna go back and get the high arch footbeds to go in them. I've never heard of this brand before personally. It's Saucony. I feel like it's a popular running brand if you're in the running community, but as a non-runner, I had never heard of it. So I'm excited to like try it out, and hopefully I like them. I mean, I obviously tried them on the store and I did the treadmill test, but I feel like you really only know whether or not you like a shoe when you wear it for a long duration of time. So we shall see, but this is what they look like. They kind of look like a mix between my Brooks running shoes and my Hoka's. They're this really pretty light blue with like a cream on the bottom. That's another thing about shoes in running stores. I feel like all the colors are like pretty ugly, to be honest. You can't just get like a simple white pair. Luckily, I found this color in the type of shoe that I tried on in the store, and I really like them. I feel like they're cute, and I'm just hoping that they make my knees, ankles, and feet feel better when I run. So I'll have to give like a little update once I wear them for a while, but that was definitely a much needed purchase, and I wanted to get them before we go on vacation next week because I think I want to bring them with us. And next up, the purchase of the year. I bought a Fujifilm camera. She was a pricey one. She was a pricey purchase, but if you know me, I always have a camera in my hand. I've always had a camera in my hand since I can remember. My parents have gotten me like 2, I would say to 4 new cameras in my life. It started out with little digital cameras, then I worked my way up to like the nice Nikon DSLR cameras, and they've just always been like really supportive of the fact that I've loved to take pictures since I was little. This should come as no surprise that I wanted to invest in a new camera. I feel like I've been getting back into photography lately, and it's making my soul so happy. I've always loved taking pictures. I feel like I fell off of it for a while there, like post college. I lived in New York and there are a lot of cool things in New York, but I just feel like I got so wrapped up in other activities like going to restaurants, drinking, doing the city things that I took pictures, but like Instagram stories. I like didn't really do photography like I used to, and I've missed it. And I feel like since we've come to Salt Lake City, I've been really re-inspired to get back into photography. And honestly, what like really re-inspired it is I took one of our friends' engagement pictures several months ago when we were back home in DC, I think in June. Taking their pictures just reminded me how much I love being behind the camera rather than in front of it. I like being in front of it for video and vlogs, but like in terms of taking pictures, I feel like I just have always loved to be behind the camera. I love a good Instagram picture here and there, but there's just something so fun about capturing the moment and getting artsy, and I don't know, it just inspired something in me again. And ever since then, I've been like re-obsessed with photography. So I decided to treat myself to a new camera, and I went with the Fujifilm. I did a lot of research on this before buying it, mainly because of the price. Like, it is not an affordable camera. I will have to say it's not necessarily price friendly investment, but I can justify it because I know how to work a camera and I know that this is something that I love. It's not like a random hobby that I'm picking up. I've loved this forever. I ended up going with the Fujifilm XT50. If you guys are on TikTok, the XT30 Mark II is currently the trending Fujifilm camera, and Fujifilm actually came out with the XT50 to replace the XT30 Mark II because the XT30 Mark II came out in 2023. This one came out in 2024, but the XT30 Mark II is transparently like $700 cheaper than the XT50. It's definitely a more affordable camera for a Fujifilm, which I think is why it's trending, but I had the hardest time trying to find the XT30 Mark II. Like, I had notifications on for several different websites. I called around to local camera stores. I stalked Amazon. I did all the things and literally could not find it anywhere. So I decided, like, maybe this is a sign from the universe. I need to do a little bit more research. I researched the XT50, and I feel like based on the videos that I watched, I was convinced to just spend a little bit more money to get the XT50 versus the XT30 Mark II. So I went for it, and I was able to find it on Best Buy's website. I like snatched a restock. If you guys are in the camera world, you know how hard it is to get a Fujifilm camera right now. 1, because they're popular. 2, they're coming from Japan, so there's limited stock. Also, the whole thing with like the tariffs is in play, and it's just kind of a hot mess. So I luckily found a restock right as Best Buy restocked it, and now I am the proud owner of one. But I haven't unboxed it. I literally just picked it up. It wasn't supposed to be picked up until next Wednesday, but I got an email today saying that it was like randomly ready for pickup. So lucky me, I have it for the weekend and can play around with it when we do all of our like little weekend activities. And I'm so excited about it. So I figured we could unbox together on camera. I don't know like the best way to show this, but I think I'm just gonna pull out the pieces and show you guys. So we have instructions, important, more instructions, more instructions, more instructions. Now we're getting to the good stuff. We have the body of the camera. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. And for those of you guys that don't know what a Fujifilm camera is or like what the hype is, it's essentially a film simulation camera. So you guys have know that I have that little like film camera that I carry around with me everywhere. I feel like I've talked about it in previous vlogs, where it's actual physical film and you have to change the film in and out, and I've been like really into it, loving it. But it is definitely an expensive hobby because the price of a film roll is $20, and then to get it developed is like another $20, and you have to do that every single time, and you only get like 35 to 72 pictures depending on the type of camera that you have. This bad boy is, we call it a film simulation camera because there's no film that actually goes into it. It is a digital camera, but there are recipes within the camera that make your photos look like film. So instead of having to take a picture on the camera and then export it out and edit it in Lightroom to look like a film camera, everything is basically pre-edited in the camera based on which recipe or film simulation that you choose to shoot with. I love, like, I have been stalking everyone on the internet that has a FujiFilm camera, and I'm obsessed with every single one of their pictures. So I'm so excited to play around with it, and I just feel like it's a gorgeous camera. It looks like a traditional film camera, but obviously it's digital and is a little bit more heavy duty than a film camera. I love it, and I love the color of it too. It came in 3 different colorways. There was like a lighter silver, a darker silver, which is the one that I got, and then there was like an all black one. And this was just the one that was back in stock, but luckily it was the one that I wanted the most, so I lucked out with that. Okay, we have the battery. That's another important component. It came with a camera strap, which is really nice. I was hoping that it would, because I do want to buy a custom camera strap eventually, but I feel like it's something that I can wait to purchase since I just spent a crap ton on the camera itself. All the accessories can come later on. That's nice. I'm also very clumsy, so strap is definitely needed in my situation. We have the charger. I think that you insert the battery into the camera, but like you can also charge it with a USB-C cord, which is nice. And then I don't know what this is. This is like a headphone jack with USB-C on the end. I'm not really sure. And then we have the lens. I got the 15 to 45 millimeter lens. I really wanted the 16 to 50 millimeter lens just because the f-stop is a little bit lower on that one, which means that you can take higher quality pictures essentially, and you can get more of that like blurred background. Also, it can shoot from a further distance, but it wasn't a deal breaker for me because I could see myself buying an additional lens for this camera down the road. And based on the research that I did with this camera, a lot of people were saying that you don't really need the 16 to 50 millimeter lens. Like the 15 to 45 millimeter kit lens like works just fine, especially if you're planning on getting different lens down the road. And I'd either get the 23 millimeter lens or like a bigger one, like literally 20 to like 70, like something really big to go with this camera. This is what the lens looks like. I'm actually glad it's kind of tiny. I was nervous that this was going to be big. I have a 15 to 45 millimeter lens on my Nikon, I think. Maybe it's 12 to 50. It's very similar, but the lens is massive. So I was afraid that it was going to take this like compact camera and make it huge based on that information, but I feel like it is perfect. This is what it looks like. I need to honestly take it apart and read the instructions and play with it and watch some videos. I've obviously been watching a ton of videos. It's like consumed my entire brain the last week when I've been researching it, but I need to like set it up and play with it and like add my own film recipes onto here and play with the current film recipes that are on here. There are a lot of things that I just like need to do to learn this camera. So this was a fun haul because it was an expensive haul, which I feel like makes it fun when things are just expensive and different than what I'm doing. It's not just like a clothing haul or whatever. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I need to clean up this mess. John and I are actually going out to dinner tonight. We decided to get sushi because neither of us feel like making dinner and it's a Friday night. So we're gonna go do that, but I figured I would just kick off the vlog on a Friday night and take you guys through the weekend with me. Not really sure what we're gonna get up to. We've talked about paddleboarding, shocker, or hiking, another shocker, but we haven't decided on anything quite yet. This lighting is not it, but good morning, you guys. Happy Saturday. We just got to Causey Reservoir. It's 9:15 a.m. 9:17 actually. Last time we tried to come to Causey, there was literally no parking and it was so crowded, so we decided to do like an early paddleboarding day, and I think that it paid off because this parking lot is pretty much empty. There's like probably 20-ish cars here, but the parking lot's definitely not full whatsoever. So I'm excited to try this out again. Last time we were here, we had a paddleboarding fail. Not only the parking situation was bad, but we just didn't realize how much you had to blow the paddleboard up to, and we had like a little hand pump. This time around, we have 2 paddleboards and we have a automatic pump that we plug into the car. We are going to get situated and start blowing up some paddleboards, but I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update that we made it. And hopefully this time is better than the last. Wow, the water level is a lot lower than last time we were here. Hello. I feel like I haven't talked to the vlog camera pretty much all day, but it's because we have been out and about, obviously. We wrapped up our day at Causey around 1:45, so I would say that we spent about like 4.5 hours there. That was my favorite reservoir of the reservoirs that we went to this summer. Granted, I think we only did like 2. But there was just so much to do at this reservoir, and it was so lively that I like really appreciated it. I really enjoyed it and would definitely go back 100%. There were people cliff jumping. Apparently there's like a rope swing. The water levels were a little bit low today compared to the first time we attempted to go earlier this summer, and you could tell where the water line normally is. You guys probably saw in a few of the clips, but where the water line normally is, the rock was a little bit lighter underneath it and then darker above it. You could like visibly see the fact that the water levels were low. Rope swing like really wasn't happening today, but a lot of people were rock jumping. What is it called? Cliff jumping off of rocks, I guess. So that was cool to watch. And there were just a lot of like little like paths and inlets that you could take. It wasn't like a circular reservoir where you could see the entire thing from one point. It like branches out into a ton of different ways, and I feel like we got like a ton of activity, and like we were actually able to paddle around. We took some breaks here and there and threw the anchor, had a little snack out there. John took a little dip. I did not dip. And overall it was just like a really good day. I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely go back. I'm so glad that we got there when we did though. 9:15, I think I mentioned that there weren't that many cars in the parking lot when we went to leave at 1:45. Yes, it was 4 hours later, but the parking lot was full and people were starting to park on the street, which is how it was last time we were there. So I think that honestly, if we had gotten there like an hour later, we would have been fighting for some space. So I'm glad we got there when we did, because we were part of the morning crowd. So you get there in the morning, you kind of beat the heat of the day, and then you leave when it's peak heat or just before peak heat, so it's a little bit more enjoyable in my opinion. After Causey, we went and got pizza for lunch. We went to this place called Pie Pizzeria, which there's actually a few locations in Utah. The original location, the location that we go to all the time, is near the University of Utah campus, but it's just like a takeout spot. I don't think that there's an actual physical restaurant in Salt Lake City, but they have a physical restaurant location in Ogden. So after the reservoir, we went and sat down in the restaurant and had pizza. It has some of the best gluten-free pizza that I've found in Salt Lake City. Honestly, just like in general, their gluten-free pizza does not taste gluten-free in my opinion. I think it's fantastic. We did that, got swig after because it was right across the street and we couldn't resist. And now I'm showered, back home, and I think that we're just gonna have a chill evening. I'm pretty wiped. I feel like the sun kind of drained me and I kind of feel a little bit of a headache coming on. So I want to take it easy. I feel like I'm gonna go lay on the couch for a little bit and watch a show or a movie or something, and maybe play the Switch. I started watching One Tree Hill again last night. The last time that I watched One Tree Hill, I was in high school, so I haven't seen it in a minute, and I honestly don't really remember too much of what happens in the show. I remember bits and pieces, but because it was so long ago, I feel like some of these episodes I'm watching as if I haven't seen them before because I don't remember them, and I'm really enjoying it. I love it. I'm a Nathan girl. Sorry to all my Luke girls, but I am 100% a Nathan girl. Man's a chef's kiss. Anyway, so that's the plan for the evening. I don't really think we'll get up to too much else, honestly. We have leftover pizza, so that's probably what I'll end up eating for dinner too, is leftover pizza or whatever else we have in the fridge. We also have some like little chicken sausages and stuff, so I think we're probably in for the evening. Happy Sunday. I cannot get this earring in my freaking ear. It's like noon and we've had a very lazy day. I fell asleep at like 9:30 last night. I wish I was kidding when I said that, but I like could not get rid of the headache that I had after paddleboarding. It honestly didn't go away until I like took Motrin, which I should have taken sooner, but sometimes I just like to see how long I can go without taking Motrin to see if it goes away, which is a toxic trait that I have. But I ended up falling asleep around like 9:30 because between the headache and just the long day out, I was exhausted, and I actually slept until like 9:15 this morning. So I had 11.5 hours, almost 12 hours sleep, which is crazy. I don't really feel that much more well rested than if I were to have like an 8-hour sleep, but it's just kind of crazy that I fell asleep at 9:30 last night and then didn't get up till like 9:30 this morning. So we've had a chill morning. I made protein pancakes for breakfast. Truthfully, I've been playing around with my new camera all morning. I'm watching like all the TikToks, all the YouTube videos, trying to figure out how to work all of the settings on it because it's definitely different than my Nikon that I have. Very different than the Sony, different than the Canon G7X. Also, to be fair, my Sony and my Canon G7X I just keep on auto because for vlogs I don't really need to mess around with the settings too much, but for the FujiFilm I want to use it manual versus auto, so I've been messing around with the settings and taking test pictures. So far I'm obsessed with it. The quality is insane compared to my other cameras, like truthfully insane. I'm so excited to use it on our trips coming up, and just when we go hiking and stuff like that. I just feel like it's gonna be the perfect addition to my little collection, so I've spent a few hours doing that as well. And now we're gonna venture out. It's pretty gloomy outside today, which honestly I don't really mind because it's been so hot in Salt Lake City all summer, and I say that in every vlog, so we're not gonna talk about it, but the clouds have rolled in this week for sure, and I think we're supposed to have a little bit of a cold front where it's gonna be in the 70s versus the 90s, and today is the first day of that where it's I think only like 82 degrees outside. So we're gonna get out of the house and enjoy some of the weather. I think that I am gonna run to Best Buy because I want to get a new SD card for this camera. This camera I only have 64 gigabytes of storage on it, and I want to get the 120 something, whatever I just bought for my Fujifilm, I want to get for the Sony because I run out of storage on this camera so freaking fast. Like I can only film one vlog, if anything like maybe even a half a vlog on this camera before it runs out of storage because I shoot in higher definition and 4K on this camera. It just takes up more space. So I want to do that. I think we may run to Costco, although I don't know if we'll be doing a huge Costco haul because we head out of town next week to go to the Outer Banks. We do this every single summer with John's family. It's like his family vacation. So I don't think we'll be getting too much food, although between the two of us we could definitely like comb through a crap ton of food in 1 week, so we'll see. But we just want to get out of the house, go do something, and then come back and have a leisurely Sunday. Also, you can probably tell I'm washing the sheets because I just felt like they were kind of gross. I wash my pillows every week, especially for my skin, because I can tell when my pillow is dirty, my skin starts to break out. But I also just feel like the comforter, the top sheet, the mattress cover, everything needed a good wash. We're also doing that, if you can hear the laundry machine in the background. I never love filming in the kitchen because I feel like the lighting is always very questionable. I clearly didn't go to Costco or Best Buy. We very much so rerouted the plans and ended up going to Smith's instead to just do a weekly grocery haul, or at least for the first half of the week. We only really need to feed ourselves for, I guess 6 days if you count today, but like 5 days during the work week because we leave on Saturday for the Outer Banks. So it wasn't like the biggest haul that we've ever done, but it's also why we decided that we didn't want to go to Costco because I just think that it would be a little bit wasteful. So we went to Smith's. After Smith's, came back here, we put away all the groceries, cleaned out the fridge, just kind of like a weekly task, and then I have been hanging out on the couch. I'm kind of tired today and also a little bit crampy, which has like kind of created the path for my activities. I'm having a very leisurely, slow day. I was reading on the couch actually. I'm reading Summer in the City. I cannot remember the author's name, but I'll pop up a picture of the book here. I figured we could do a little baking and books session where I bake this banana bread and talk about books. So first things first, let me get out all the stuff that I need for the banana bread and then we can go from there. Oven's been set to 350 and we have all the ingredients, and by all the ingredients it literally just requires 3 things aside from the mix. This is the Simple Mills almond flour banana muffin bread. It's gluten-free and I believe dairy-free. It just contains almonds and coconuts. One of my favorite banana bread mixes. I do typically like making banana bread from scratch when we have bananas that have gone bad, but we don't have any that are like ready to be made into banana bread, so I bought this at the store today and I figured this would be a fun snack to have throughout this week. Back to what I was saying before, I'm reading Summer in the City, which is a book that's based in New York City, and I typically do not like books that are based in New York City for a variety of different reasons. One, I lived there for 3 or 4 years, so I feel like every time I read a book in New York City, I'm judging the author's knowledge. It's not like a peaceful read for me. I also just like, I don't know, I just don't enjoy it, and I cannot explain really why I don't enjoy it, but it's just not my favorite. We don't have a 1/3 cup. It's just not my favorite. It has never been my favorite, and I typically avoid books that are based in New York, but for some reason this book has intrigued me, so I picked it up. and it's not bad so far. I'm only 28% of the way into the book, and it's in, not enemy, yeah, kind of enemies to lovers, but like one-sided enemies to lovers. This girl meets a billionaire out at a bar, but it's like more of a social hour for startups and stuff like that, and like tech businesses, and he essentially thinks that she's like a prostitute and offers to pay her for sex, and she gets extremely offended by it, like leaves him in the hallway, never sees him again except for in the news, because now he's a tech billionaire and is selling his company, so he's in all of these magazine articles, news articles, he's all over the internet, and she basically like hates this guy. Well, she ends up moving back to New York City to finish writing a manuscript for a movie that she's, I think, producing. I think that was the correct terminology. Guess who ends up being her next door neighbor? The billionaire that she hates. Although, as of right now, she knows who he is, obviously, because she does not like him, but he does not remember who she is. It's just like a one-sided hate situation, which is why I said that. But he essentially needs a fake date for the entirety of the summer. So they do a little exchange that if he helps her like write and come up with ideas for her manuscript for her movie, or playbook for her movie, I don't know the right word, it might be play script, something like that, she'll fake date him and go to all these like social events with him and be seen out with him for the summer. So it's a one-sided enemies to lovers, but also a fake dating trope. And so far it's not too New York City-y. It definitely has said a few New York City locations, but I feel like it's not an overwhelming New York City book, if that makes any sense. So surprisingly, I'm enjoying it as of right now. There have been a few cringy moments where I'm like, I just don't love that in any book in general, but specifically New York books. Prior to Summer in the City, I was reading the 7th book of the Zodiac Academy series, and honestly, I could use your guys' advice on whether or not it's worth it to finish the remaining Zodiac Academy series. It literally took me 6 months to finish the 7th book of the Zodiac Academy series. If you guys follow me on TikTok, I went on a whole tangent about it. But I basically DNF'd the book for several months and then recently came back to it to finish it, and I don't know, I just don't know if it's worth it. Like, books 8 and 9 are even longer than book 7. Book 7 was 930 pages, book 8 is 1200 pages, and book 9 is 1100 pages. Part of me is like, girl, you're so close to finishing the series, just finish it and get it over with and you never have to see it again. And like, I do kind of enjoy it, but I don't enjoy how long the books are and how long it takes me to finish them. And then another part of me is like, you could literally just spark notes it and figure out like what happens, who dies, if they, you know, do their thing. I won't spoil the book for you guys, but I don't know. I'm like in a Zodiac Academy rut where I just don't know what to do. So if you guys have read the Zodiac Academy series, let me know what you think I should do. If I should finish the series and just suck it up, or if I should DNF it and just spark notes it, or like look up TikTok spoilers, because I'm so close to doing that. I just don't know if I care anymore, to be honest. But anyways, those are all the books that I've read recently that I feel like I haven't updated you guys on. It was just the Zodiac Academy series and then the current book that I'm starting, although I feel like I'm going to read this current book really fast, and it sucks because I don't have another one in line. I have like 10 holds on Libby, but unfortunately all of the holds 10-week wait. I do feel like there's one that maybe has a 6-week wait, but that does not solve my issue right now. I need to figure out what I want to read after the Summer in the City book. It smells so good. This is going to be such a good snack for the week. I'm so excited. Normally we put, I think, chocolate chips in them in the past, but we don't have any of those, so it's going to be a little healthier. Voila. Perfection. Now we need to get out the pan and pour all the mix in the pan. I wish you guys could smell how good these just made the apartment smell. They're pretty good. I overcooked them a smidge, so they're a little dry, but honestly not bad. I came in here to film the outro for this video, and of course that's when the neighbors decide that the lawn needs to be maintained. Now there's a leaf blower going. BRB. It's Monday, it's the next day. Yes, this is a weekend vlog, but I didn't want to just like leave the vlog hanging. I ended up finishing Summer in the City by Alex Astor, and I honestly had no clue that Alex Astor is actually a fantasy author, and this is her first like romance book that's not romantasy. I had no clue until I looked her up earlier today, and I actually really enjoyed her writing. I ended up giving the book 3.5 stars. I'm in between 3.5 and 3.75. I was gonna give it 4 stars, but I have a few critiques about the book that I just honestly, no, they're not starting up again. My first critique is that I think that the plot of the book just moved really fast. Like, there are certain scenes that I would have loved if she had spent... I'm just gonna talk through it over it, okay? Because this is driving me nuts and I just want to close out this vlog, so if you hear the leaf blower in the background, I'm so sorry, but I hope the mic is doing a little bit to kind of drown it out even though it's loud. I feel like the plot was rushed a little bit. There are a few scenes that I would have loved, like a couple extra pages, just some like more detail drawn out. I feel like they were just kind of plopped there and kind of came out of nowhere, which added a good surprise element to the book, but I kind of would have loved more of like a lead up and then more details about the scene and then more details after the scene, if that makes any sense. I do have a specific scene in mind, but if I said it, I would literally spoil the book, so I'll just leave it at that. I just wish there were certain scenes that had a few more pages describing what was happening. I just felt like it was a little bit rushed during some parts. There were definitely a few parts that I just like cringed at a little bit, but I just cringed at them because, like I said before, I'm not a big New York City book person. Like, I just don't like reading books about New York City. I don't know why. I think it's just because when they talk about all these places that I've been to and would frequent often, like Strand Bookstore, Union Square, the 4-story Barnes & Noble, the different like pizza shops that they were mentioning, like I'd been to a few of them, it just like makes me cringe a little bit listening to the author describe these places. I don't know why. It just does. So there were definitely a few cringe moments in there for me, for sure. I ended up giving the book, I think, like, I'm gonna settle on 3.75 because I did really enjoy it, and I actually want to try to read some of her fantasy books now. She writes the Lightlark series, and I've heard a little bit about the Lightlark series, but not too much. I think there's 4 books in it. There's 3 out right now, and the 4th is going to be released in December, I believe. I don't know how many books there will be in the series total, but that's just how many are out right now or will be out by the time December rolls around. So I could definitely see myself reading some more of her books. And I don't know what I'm gonna read now that I've completely finished that book. Like I said yesterday, have so many freaking books on hold on Libby, and I need people to start returning them and reading a little bit faster because I'm running out of things to read, and I don't really want to buy the books on Kindle because the Kindle book prices are just like literally so absurd lately. The price of a physical book is the same price as a Kindle book, and I just think that that's like slightly ridiculous. So I'm protesting by not buying any of these books until I get them for free via Libby. So maybe I'll find a book on Kindle Unlimited or something. But yeah, I just feel like I couldn't leave you guys hanging with a reading update. Since I finished the book, I wanted to wrap up this vlog with just a quick review about it and let you guys know that I would definitely recommend, if you guys want a cutesy, quick romance book. I personally liked it. Was a little cringy. Yes, but aren't most romance books a little bit cringy? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next vlog. Bye.